Hello to all my Christmas loving friends. I'm Mary and my channel is called Rocky Mountain Gardens. I invite you to go ahead and subscribe if you're interested in learning more about crafting, thrifting, gardening, home decor, holiday decorations. We do it all here at Rocky Mountain Gardens. Today I am joining Kenya at Kenya's Decor Corner for a challenge that is using a lantern in your Christmas decor. Now, my lantern is one that I've had. I got it last year at Walmart. It's this beautiful sort of rustic, a little bit aged, vintage looking lantern. As you can see, it's pretty big, isn't it? I'd like to take you along with me as I am decorating my lantern that I'm going to be using on my hearth this year for Christmas. So decorating today means all I have to do as the holidays get closer is take my already prepared lantern and set it right onto my hearth and it will look gorgeous. So let's get started. For my lantern, I am going to make a bow topper, and I'm using 2 ribbons, 3 of each. This is going to be just a 6-loop bow, not a huge one, but it still will look quite pretty, and I'm making this as a funky bow. If you would like to learn how to make funky bows in more detail, I do have a video up on my YouTube channel on making funky bows, and I'll put a link right here at the top, an iCard that you could click on if you'd like to have a more detailed step-by-step tutorial. So let's go ahead and put this funky bow together. So I have my bow fluffed out somewhat. It's not perfect and I will finish it up when I actually place this on the lantern, but I want to give you a tip about this and what to do, because on my funky bow I do have some strands left here that are part of my pipe cleaner. However, they're not long enough to be able to tie around the top of my lantern and attach this. So there is a solution, and we'll do that right now. We're going to take the gold ribbon, I believe, since we have a red lantern, and we're going to take a rather long piece off. I would say this is maybe a yard to 4 feet long. I have it folded in half. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail the ends of the ribbon very quickly here. And since I have this middle part, I'm going to take it here with my bow, and I am going to simply place it in the middle right here, scrunch it up, and twist tie with the pipe cleaner these tails onto my bow. So now, as you can see, I have my bow a little scrunched up from laying it on its front side, but I've got these very nice long tails that will be part of the design of my lantern. This is a piece of a green garland that I have left over from last year. It was one of those very inexpensive garlands that you can buy at Walmart for like $5. So, an additional thing before I tie on my bow, let me just set that aside. I am going to go ahead and right here on my bow, I'm going to take this greenery, I'm going to spread out about in the center area of it, make a little space here. This is right in the center. Can you see I kind of pushed the little branches so I have an open space right here. And I'm going to set this in also right in here between my pipe cleaners. Let me make sure you can see this. Here's one pipe cleaner and here's the other. And I am simply going to twist tie this on right over the tails that I just twisted on. Gives me a very easy way to attach some greenery before I attach my tails. So I'll get my tails right on in there in between the greenery. See how I have it right here? Okay, now we're going to tie it on to the front of the lantern. And I'm going to tie this around this top round part, right underneath the very tippy top with this round loop that I have here. So I'm going to snug it up against there, grab my tail, I'm going to turn this around so I hope you get a better look. Let's move my camera up just a teensy bit. So here we are, and I am simply going to tie a bow here in the back. But there we go, we have a nice looking bow on the back in case anybody happens to see the back side. This will not be facing out, it will be, you know, facing the wall, so it's not as critical. But this is also very easy to untie at the end of the season when maybe you want to use your red lantern for Valentine's Day or the 4th of July. So now we have our bow and our greenery attached. So let's flip it around here so you can see what it looks like. And of course we have to do a lot of playing around with our funky bow here because it has gotten smooshed up as we've been attaching it. So I'm going to go ahead and fluff out my greenery here and fluff out my bow, and then we'll move on to our next parts of decorating this lantern. The first thing I'm going to do is to place this pedestal inside the lantern so my Santa will be raised up a bit. The second thing I'm going to add is another bit of this same piece of garland that I got from Walmart, the very inexpensive garland. And before I place it in there, I'm going to fluff up the greenery just a bit so that it is visible and looks pretty. And because I'm going to be having this lantern facing one direction, I am planning to, you know, not have any greenery really showing on the back side so much. I want it to be fluffed up toward the front. And so I'm fluffing it in that way right now. And let's go ahead and place it into the lantern. So what I did was I really smushed it down in there. And what I am doing right now is actually having some of the greenery spilling out since I'm going to leave the door to my lantern open. So I want it to be just flowing out. Santa comes next. We'll place him in there. And we want him not to be sitting on any of the greenery, so let me move that out of the way. There we are. Very nice. And the greenery can be coming up around Santa a little bit. I just don't want him to, or want it to make Santa be not easy to see within the lantern. Now, another thing I want to add to this to brighten it up is a bit is I have this little strand of iridescent little tiny pearls, and I don't know, I had this in my scrapbooking stash. I got it on a present or something, and I just kept it, you know, because you can always use something like this in a design. And I'm going to drape it. I want it to drape down a bit onto the lantern. I'm just going to start over here on this side and have the little pearls come down, flowing down here to this side of the lantern. I'm just draping it over the pieces of the greenery. And then I do want it to come and drape a bit over the door, so it's all sort of together. And then guys, I have some Mardi Gras beads. Here's some blue ones. And I thought I might just drape it over the door as well. Let's bring this over like this. And this one will loop over. Right now, I have added some ornaments around in different places, different colors. And then I do have some fairy lights that I'm going to place in there, and I'll do that right now. And then I'm going to take my camera down and give you a chance to really get a close-up look at the finished lantern design. So with my fairy lights, they do get tangled up, and that's really okay because, you know, they're just going to be scrunched all in there anyway. I'm going to go ahead and kind of gather them up, double them up a bit, and I'm going to place them behind Santa first. Here's my nice funky bow here at the top, and over here I have an ornament hanging, and actually I placed an ornament over here on this side as well. And then down here you can see some of the beads hanging and coming around this way. Of course, you can see the fairy lights. Here's a close-up of my Santa with all the lights that will make this quite festive. And I added a few more ornaments there inside of the lantern just to put more color and interest even on the sides. So there it is. So guys, don't forget to check the playlist that Kenya is putting up on her channel for more wonderful inspiration for your lantern, one that you might have in your home. Lots of creators will have things to share with you besides just me. So I will have a link to that playlist in the description box below. And I also will include a link to my own Christmas playlist. It is a series that I've called, it's called A Rocky Mountain Cottage Christmas. And I have several videos up so far and many more are coming. I sure do hope you will stop by and check some of them out and find something that you can use in your own home. So let's get ready for Christmas. Happy decorating all.